So I'm heading to York today with a few of my friends for my friend's birthday. I've personally never been to York, this will be the first time, but through kind of recommendations from friends, I'm really excited because I've heard really nice stuff about it. So let's go!
Firstly, apologies, when transferring the footage from my phone, for some reason it had this slightly funny colour, but it is consistent throughout, so we're going to go with it. It kind of goes with the old York theme. So we stayed in this lovely Airbnb, which was about a 5-minute walk from the centre. It had everything that we needed. We knew that we weren't going to be in the apartment much of the day, so we just needed somewhere that had the facilities to cook dinner one night and obviously a comfortable night's sleep. It was in the basement, which means it kind of got rather hot. There wasn't that many windows, but it was the middle of January, so actually it was quite good. The first night we played a new game that we found from Tesco, which was called Clipology. Highly recommend if you're like a movie fan or you're into like your series. You do need a laptop to play. Megan, Harriet and I were pretty good. Lydia probably actually watches the most films out of all of us but could never remember information, so she didn't do so well. Then we went to bed at a reasonable time because we kind of decided to have a jam-packed day. We strolled into the centre because we were just walking distance and went to the York Minster first. All of the things that we do today we did pre-book, and we did that just the night before, so it's not something you have to book in far in advance, but it's definitely worth just making sure that you've got your allotted time space. So yeah, we pre-booked our tickets online, and then when we got to the York Minster, we did have an add-on of the tour of the tower as an extra, but I would highly recommend, if you're going to go, to definitely kind of book that in. It isn't for anybody that, you know, has bad asthma or it's restricted in any way, like mobility. They are quite tight steps, so just have that in mind. I did enjoy it a lot more than I thought I would. I do quite like historical places and culture, but I like things that wow me, some things that I've never seen before, and actually I don't think I've been in to a place like the York Minster, so yeah, I was pretty impressed. We did get to light a candle for someone, which was a really lovely moment for all of us girls as well. It was quite a sad and strange feeling. So there was this amazing statue of the late Queen Elizabeth, which was designed for her Platinum Jubilee celebration. So this was literally created last year, but obviously we went at the point of her passing, so it was kind of like an odd, strange feeling, but it was really nice to see. Then it was the time to climb the tower. So there were 275 steps, which doesn't sound a lot, but these steps were really small. They were smaller than the length of my feet. It was hard on the calves, lots of twists and turns, but there was an incredible viewpoint halfway. And it's not for the faint-hearted. I can get a bit funny with heights, but I just kind of held onto the railing tightly. Then we continue to the top, where you do get to see the best view of York, so well worth it. You can see lots of different angles of York. We could actually point out some of the places that we were heading that day, which was fun. I could see a house that I really fell in love with. I thought that would be a perfect listing for luxury property partners. Tempted to knock on the door, but I didn't. And then part of the York Minster is also a underground museum, so we checked that out before heading off to do the rest of our day. So the next activity we had booked is to go to the York's Chocolate Story, which again was only like a 5-10 minute walk from the Minster, which was really good, so everything's in walking distance. We're all massive chocolate fans. Any chance for chocolate, we were all in. We got to try a shot of pure chocolate, or chocolate in its purest form.
Chocolate in its purest form. There you go. There we are. As well. Probably down your sleeve.
What are you doing?
Yeah, there you go. Excellent. Sorry, 100%, strongest in the world. Exactly. Yes. If you are interested in, if you're doing
Definitely
a fitness
wasn't
regime
as
and you're
bad
giving up
as
chocolate,
Megan
this
had
stuff
made out, so
is
she's
actually
actually
super
been
good.
to
You don't
this
technically
chocolate
have to give
factory
up the
before,
pure stuff.
but
Highly
we
packets
understand
and
why we
healthy
add
products.
sugar
Yeah.
to chocolate
On the other
after
hand,
trying
I think you can
that.
see
But
why we
a
like to
big
add
shout
sugar.
out to our tour guide as well. He has got to be an actor of some kind, or had some kind of acting experience. There was moments in the tour where he had to kind of do some acting and really get involved, so amazing if you have children. He was brilliant. And then we got to make our own chocolate lolly, and I was really impressed that it was white chocolate, because I do love white chocolate. I don't actually think I ended up eating mine though. I have a feeling that I put it in my bag, forgot about it, and it melted slightly, so I was a bit gutted. And Lydia was a bit heavy on the chocolate sprinkles, so I don't think she ate hers in the end either. We got to see somebody create and make some chocolates, which was brilliant, because then that just meant free samples. That did definitely work up our appetite, so we went from the York chocolate story to have some lunch at a place called the Fat Hippo, which I highly recommend, and then we headed to the Shambles. Now the Shambles is one of York's most famous landmarks and is one of the best preserved medieval shopping streets in the whole of Europe. With its cobbled streets and overhanging buildings, it's believed to be the inspiration behind Diagon Alley from the movie Harry Potter. I'm sorry if I didn't say that correctly, I always accidentally go Diagonal Alley. Diagon.
We didn't get to see the ghost merchants because the queue was 3 hours long and the train is broken. So we're going to go see Harry Potter in the shop that must not be named.
So Megan mentions about ghost merchants. It's one of the a favourite hotspot in York, so do check that out. But the queue is normally like 3 hours long, so we gently said to Megan that we were not going to do that. We then had a little look round some of the market stalls before heading to the Jorvik Viking Centre, which is set out as a museum. It's got lots of artefacts dating back to the Viking times, and then there was a 20-minute ride which narrates the history of the Vikings. Now I think this has become more popular since there's been lots of films and series about Vikings. Really good to go see if you're into that kind of stuff. You can tell that York is full of history. Lots of the activities are history based. If you do enjoy that, then York is definitely one not to miss. Once we finished, we mooched around, had a few looks at the shops, and then headed back to our apartment to make some homemade pizzas. What is great about York as well is all the streets are really beautiful, so walking and exploring is actually really enjoyable. So something you definitely have in your head that you can just take a walk. So it's pizza time. We're all very different. We have a mixture of toppings. I did do a poll on my Instagram story at the time to find out who everyone thought was the best pizza, and I believe mine did in fact win, closely followed by Megan's mushroom pizza. So we checked out the local nightlife, which was pretty good. York is a uni town, so there was lots of places open, but it had a really good range of bars, cocktail places, and some good old English pubs. So we kind of went out, had a little boogie, and then we did come back early, relatively early, as we forced ourselves to get up the next day so we could walk the York City walls. Now, York City Centre is surrounded by historic walls which are free to access on foot throughout the year. About 3.4 kilometres long, the beautifully preserved walls are the longest medieval town walls in the whole of England, and the walk takes about 2 hours. One thing I did notice as well about York is how dog friendly it was in all of the restaurants, the pubs, the shops. They allow dogs in as long as they're well behaved, so I'm definitely thinking of planning another trip to York with Michael and B. I think it's beautiful and well worth doing, so fully recommend for a family weekend away or some exploring time with your close friends. And then not to mention we did end up taken a trip to get some food from the famous York roast for